Hey, ghost enthusiasts. It's your host, back with a story that's been eating at me for years. I'm talking about the kind of story that makes the hairs on your neck stand up, the kind that leaves you questioning every creak you hear after dark. Buckle up, because this one gets personal. It all started when I was a kid. My family had this old cabin deep in the woods of Maine. I'm talking miles from civilization, the kind of place where the stars are so bright they feel like they're close enough to touch. It was beautiful, peaceful, or so I thought. We'd visit every summer and I loved exploring. I'd spend hours wandering through the trees, pretending I was some intrepid explorer charting unknown territories. But as I got older, things started to change. The woods, they started to feel different. It began subtly, just a feeling of being watched, that prickly sensation on the back of your neck. Then came the whispers. At first, I dismissed them as the wind rustling through the leaves, the babbling of a nearby brook. But soon, they became clearer, more distinct, and that's when I first heard it. My name, a soft, breathy voice carried on the wind. Your name. It would sigh, barely audible, like a secret the woods were trying to share. It always seemed to come from deeper within the trees, luring me further in. Of course, I was terrified. I told my parents, but they brushed it off. Just your imagination, honey, my mom would say, while my dad joked that I was spending too much time alone. But I knew what I heard. This wasn't my imagination. The voices grew bolder with each visit. They weren't just whispering my name anymore. They started saying other things. Things that chilled me to the bone. Things like, come closer, and we've been waiting for you. One evening, I was sitting on the porch as dusk settled. The forest was alive with the sounds of crickets and owls. But then, cutting through the symphony of nature, I heard it again. Your name. This time, it was louder, clearer, closer than ever before. Driven by a morbid curiosity, or maybe just plain stupidity, I decided to follow the sound. I grabbed a flashlight and plunged into the darkness, the beam cutting a feeble path through the thick undergrowth. The air grew heavy, the temperature dropped, and the woods became eerily silent. Even the crickets had stopped chirping. The only sound was the crunch of leaves under my feet and my own ragged breath. And then I saw them. Flickering in the distance, deep in the heart of the woods, were lights. Not the warm, comforting glow of a campfire, but cold, ethereal lights that pulsed with an unnatural energy. The voices were definitely coming from there, urging me forward. I kept walking, drawn in by an invisible force. The lights grew brighter, revealing a clearing I had never seen before. In the center stood a circle of ancient gnarled trees, their branches intertwined like skeletal fingers, and beneath them, figures. I couldn't make out their faces, but I could sense them. Tall, gaunt shapes shrouded in shadow, their eyes glowing with the same eerie light as the orbs that surrounded them. They were chanting, their voices a low, guttural drone that resonated deep within my chest. And then they spoke my name again, this time in unison. Your name. Welcome home. That's when I finally snapped out of it. I don't know what it was, but something primal kicked in, and I turned and ran. I ran faster than I ever thought possible. The image of those figures burned into my mind. I didn't stop running until I burst back onto the porch, gasping for air, my heart pounding like a drum. I never told my parents what I saw that night. I knew they wouldn't believe me, but from that day on, I never went back into the woods alone. And I never heard the voices again. At least, not in the woods. But here's the thing that keeps me up at night. Sometimes, when I'm alone, late at night, I still hear it. A faint whisper on the edge of hearing. Your name. And I wonder, are they still waiting for me? Am I meant to go back? Is there some sort of unfinished business? Listen, I know it sounds crazy, and maybe it is, but I needed to share this. I needed to get it off my chest. The woods have secrets, dark and ancient secrets. And sometimes they call out to us. Come closer is a phrase I can't shake off, and we've been waiting for you. Still rings in my ears. This story is one you won't forget. So remember, the woods are always listening. And hey, next time you're out in the woods, listen closely. You might just hear your name being called.